storm warnings out to our west. So how are we supposed to be getting some severe storms? Well, this is actually the reason why we're not expecting much. Not saying nothing's going to happen, but we're not expecting this to be a high-end event. The reason why? Dew points are fairly low. They're mainly in the 40s area-wide. To really get an environment that has a lot of moisture, that's kind of ready to deliver as far as the heavy, intense rain and storms are concerned, you need those dew points in the 60s. That's more likely found in June and July, maybe in a really muggy May. You also need some of that instability. Heat creates some of that instability and warm air rises. We got some heat today. Temperatures didn't even make it to 70, but we were close. But also temperatures have dropped almost 10 degrees, and that's before the system even moves in. So we're kind of lacking on the instability too. Now we do have a lift, we do have a trigger here, and that's a front. A cold front helps kind of lift those storms upward, but without a ton of moisture or instability, the lift mechanism doesn't really have a lot to lift. And then of course, the wind shear. It's incredibly windy. We've got lots of upper level winds to work with, but we need all these ingredients to come together to create a more substantial tornado risk. This is all to say, we're spotty in terms of the ingredients, but we just don't have them all laid out for a more concerning severe weather threat. Nonetheless, as this system moves eastward, here according to Future Track, we're going to be watching some of these stronger storms as they approach the region. I would not be surprised to see some warnings, probably more likely severe than tornado, move eastward and probably clip some of our westward counties initially. But I also would not be surprised as this line moves eastward for the system to weaken, as it often does. I don't expect this to completely split apart, but likely weaken as it moves eastward. So Columbia City, Huntington, Kendallville, seeing perhaps a muted version of the storms that places in Warsaw, North Manchester, Wabash see. In these western communities, better chance of perhaps seeing a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Farther east, more like 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts with those thunderstorms, and then 45 to 50 miles per hour as that system kind of does split apart a little bit right around 10 p.m. across the heart of the region, and then through northwest Ohio, seeing a few downpours at about 11 to midnight. But by that point, this looks mostly like rain than any organized severe threat. So really, generally between about 8 and midnight is that window here that we're watching for the potential window of severe weather. The risk level appears pretty low across the board, especially when it comes to flooding. Strong wind, we're kind of on the medium side of things. It's going to be windy regardless. So even if we don't get a lot of the thunderstorm activity, expect wind gusts to still be between about 30 to 45. Any thunderstorms could enhance that wind, bring it up to about 50 or greater. Large hail and the tornado risk, of course, remain pretty low area-wide. Future rainfall, about a ½ an inch or less is expected. Any one thunderstorm that manages to hang on a little longer than the rest could produce locally heavier amounts, but we're expecting the system to be a pretty quick mover. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast now. Mostly sunny, breezy on Friday after a cold first day of spring. Look at that, highs barely at 40. Could see a few snowflakes. No accumulation though. Partly sunny, breezy Saturday, 46 into the 40s Sunday as well with a little rain and wind. And then low to mid 40s Monday through Wednesday of next week. Overnight lows will also return at that point into the upper 20s to low 30s.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Crews